I always thought that what happened to Palestinians is a big injustice. I studied history, and in my third year on university, when we started to learn about Balfour Declaration, about Nakba, about establishment of the Israeli state, I had the deep feeling that everything what happened and still happening to Palestinians is deeply bad. Palestinians cannot hold all the injustice. My name is Denisa. I was born in Central Europe at the first part of 80s last century. It's already last century. And I studied history, and I was born to the middle class family, just a normal, I had a normal childhood. And when I decided, or when I was deciding what to study in my age of 18, I choose the history because I thought it's very important to know who we are and who we are coming from. At that time, I didn't know that even the history study is a kind of propaganda, and it's always written by the people who won. We have to learn that we are living in a times which are very important. These times are not unique in history. They are like starting points of something. Things are changing. I don't know if people see it, but things are changing a lot, and we will continue to doing the same mistakes as we did in the 30s. You can look in the 30s in Europe, what happened, for example, in Germany or in Central Europe. It's completely the same situation which is unfolding right now in the States. But Gaza and Palestine, it's a first and starting point for us where to look to, because everything is starting and finishing in this situation with Palestine. What happened 8 years ago in that part of the world, it's important for us as well, as same as for Palestinians, but they are paying the heavy price. We are just here to watching it, and we have trauma too. We have a trauma which is long distance, but we are still the lucky ones. The bombs are not falling on our heads, and we still have the power to do something with that. You can see it here with the states, with shooting on people. You can see it with the indigenous people, how they are oppressed. You can see it with black liberation people here in the United States. And if you connect this one together, then the question is a little bit broader. You can talk about occupation, you can talk about capitalism, you can talk about colonialism. You have to talk about the lifestyle we have as a capitalistic Western society. What are we doing? Are we going the right direction? When people ask me always, okay, what shall we do? What can we do with this? We cannot do anything. We are just two people, two persons. We don't know how powerful we are. We cannot let this 1% or 2% of our society, the wealthy people, the elites, have everything. We are the people who are working on them or for them. We are the powerful. We have to do something to fight these injustices. And it doesn't matter if it's in Palestine or if it's here with our black neighbors. 27, I had a mental breakdown. It was kind of hard 3 years of my life. You know, in Central Europe, it's still a little bit taboo, and it's full of, prejudice. But I want to say it loudly because I don't want to say proud, but I'm not ashamed of it. And it made me person who I am today, a person who can look on the other people with empathy and know that we are not in their shoes, and everybody is having some kind of issues and feelings, and maybe something happened to them and we don't know about it, and we have to take the people how they are. We cannot look on them from some pedestal or something like this. We have to be very empathical and help each other, because this is our goal in this planet, right? Our life is not is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be hard, and our goal here on this world is to help each other, not to walk around or stepping over each other, to be together and help each other go through everything what we are going through in a life. And it kind of counts with the people on the other side of the world too. It doesn't matter if it's our neighbor or if it's people in Palestine or Gaza when genocide is happening. I had like a great luck that I met my future husband, and he had a great opportunity to go work to the other side of the world, to Persian Gulf countries. So after 6 months of kind of starting relationship, I packed my one small luggage and I went through the new future. And it was a big future because it changed everything. It's changed my values, it's changed my view of life. And, kind of Central European personality where people are still looking at the Muslims and people in the Gulf with the lens of Islamophobia and some kind of rhetoric, be careful, you are a woman, you need to wear the hijab since now on. And, this kind of narrative, I heard it a lot, and I have to say that it's everything only propaganda. I didn't spend time with the most friendly and kind people as I spent in Gulf countries. It's important to say that we got married in 2016 because the situation there changing a lot. So we went to Palestine through Jordan. We took a car and went through King Hussein Bridge to Palestinian territories. And I have two kind of staggering memories from there. First one was 4 hours interrogation by Mossad agents on the borders. I was kind of okay, but my husband, because his work was kind of related of traveling in Middle East and Gulf countries, he was in the view of Mossad, and they interrogated him 4 hours, back and forth, one officer, another officer, if he has any relationships in the Middle East countries and if he knows somebody in Palestine. I really love Palestine. This place it has a lot of history. It has we would say vibe these days. It's the genius loci which is there, really present. You can feel it every second. That this place is unique, and the people you met there, they are very friendly. They are used to because Jerusalem is a very historical, very beautiful city, very tolerant city. There is a lot of Jews, a lot of Muslims, a lot of Christians living there together, and they always live there together for centuries. So they are used to different faiths. They are used to different kind of people. And one day, that's another memory which changed everything, and even my view for the honeymoon spend it there, was our trip to Bethlehem. As that time, both Christians, newly married, we wanted to see the Bethlehem and the church. And if you know it, you need to go through Israeli checkpoints, and Israeli soldiers are going to the bus and checking the people in the bus. And we had a chance to be in the bus with a few Palestinian people which were traveling to school and to work to Jerusalem. And two young 16, 17, 18 years old IDF soldiers with K-47 rifles. They just came to the bus and ordered all the Palestinians to go out from the bus. They didn't look at us as a white kind of Europeans. They only want to see our passports. We had to watch all the small kids and all the moms with the shopping bags and the dads going from work, going out from the bus, and they searched them. They searched them in the line, one beside other one, and it was so humiliating, and it was first time which I saw it in my very own eyes, that something like this really happening, and it was apartheid. You could see it in the eyes of the 16, 17 years old boys, that they are humiliating these children going to school, and it was really staggering. So I completely remember that moment when I opened my phone on 7th October and I saw what happened, that Operation Al-Aqsa flood happened in Gaza, Israel border. How long this will be, but I thought it's something bad, and something bad will unfold because everybody knew that this question about Israel-Palestine was buried, and it was buried. It wasn't buried by mistake. It was buried for the reason, because if you remember, in September 23, Netanyahu waved his poster on UN where was Greater Israel, and he was talking without any pointing of West Bank or Gaza or Palestine. He was talking about Israel. And as Norman Finkelstein said, nobody thought before October that this Palestinian question will again came to life. So I felt that time, I felt scared for the people in Gaza, because I could imagine what will happen, but nobody, I think nobody thought that time that it would be so horrible and so painful and so atrocious. And because I had, you know, a lot of friends and connections on my Instagram from Middle East and from Gulf, I started to see the pictures. I started to see the videos. I follow Al Jazeera since I lived there. It was my kind of news, where I took my news, where I live in the Gulf. So I started to see what's going on there in Palestine, and then I came to the videos of Gazans themselves. And it started with Motas Azaiza. Then I saw Hind Kudari, I saw Bisan Oda, and I remember that time this propaganda that it was Hamas rocket, and I remember the people saying, we don't know, we need to wait for some examination of the situation. Then I started to follow these people very closely, and I lived with them. I lived these atrocities with them. I lived the pain. I lived the sadness. I even lived the small happiness, daily happiness with them. I saw bombings of hospitals, bombings of schools, bombings of tents, bombings of people. I saw their removal from their homes, the people in Gaza, through my contacts. And that time I started to contact the people themselves, to talk to them, because they are very eager and very happy to talk to somebody, because for these 80 years of their history, they thought they are unseen. I spent a lot of time to talking to these people. I lived their pain, and I still living it, because it's a trauma which is staying inside you. And I was heartbroken. I was really I cried a lot that time. I spent sleepless night thinking about these people, holding their power, praying for them. I wanted to help them anyhow I can. So it started with boycott, then with donating, then with talking about everything what's happening there. And I still felt it's not enough. And then what I did, one sleepless night, sleeping close to my kids, I wanted to put this feeling on a paper. And I used my connection in the Middle East and Gulf and all of my friends. I asked Palestinian diaspora here. I asked moms in my kids' schools. I asked people around me from my work what they think about all the situation, because we couldn't unsee it. It was everywhere. I wrote a book. I put all these testimonies together. I wanted for us as the writers to be a kind of coping mechanism, to not get crazy from these feelings and not get hopeless, just feel that we are not alone, that a lot of people around us are feeling the same and we can do something. And from the people who will read the book, I want them to be kind of moving point. It doesn't matter if you are wealthy or poor. It doesn't matter if you are educated in history and relationships, political relationships or no. It doesn't matter if you are black, white or orange. It's matter that you are human, and the humanity is the thing which we need to fight for. This book came out in September 2025. Now currently it's almost sold out. It's a big step towards the liberation of Palestinian people. I want to say I couldn't make this book not only without the people who wrote in, but even without the people who helped me here on the spot, because I covered everything from my own pocket. And all the money, even the money which I paid to the book for printing and marketing, everything is going back to Palestine. I didn't have any single penny from that. I sending the money back through GoFundMes to the people who wrote to the book, and the rest is going to UNRWA USA for helping on the ground as well. I couldn't do this work without the authors and without one or two people which I wanna put here on. First one is the Palestinian Hustle, where you can find the book. We have like five last copies there. And it's a small Palestinian business, father and daughter. One beautiful girl from Gaza. She was born in Gaza, and she made beautiful bookmark, which we are selling as a bundle with the book. And her name is Afna on Instagram on Baladi Stitch. And maybe one more thing, and it's a small non-profit which is working with not only Palestinians but all the refugees and people who are in need, and this is Mivi International. So this, I couldn't put the book and have it physically in my hand without these three people. Maybe I will write the book number 2, but for now I'm collecting, because part of my book is a collection on archiving their art. Because they are very talented young people, and through the struggle they are making beautiful, awesome, resilient, resistant art, which is very important to archive, because you never know what can happen to them. My long-term goal, I want to go to help people on a medical mission, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm focusing on my education to be a little bit more educated on the medical field, to be ready to help on the spot, on the psychiatric side or even on the medical side as an emergency medical technician. I'm trying to help people all around me. I'm still focused on Gaza a lot. We have to have in mind that 50% of the Gaza's population, which is 2.3 million, or was 2.3 million before genocide started, is kids, is under age of 18. So we have to help them. We have to be here for them, and we have to be voice for voiceless. We have to be very loud. From Gaza, when you see them on the call and they are crying and they are telling you, I'm human too. If you don't mind and you want to ask if everything is true, don't hesitate to contact anyone from Gaza. They would be more than happy. Their English is very good. They are very educated people. Their universities and education is very high, so they are not afraid to talk. You can understand them very, very good, and they are happy that they can share their stories, even though the stories are painful. Doing podcast for the audience of the Czech people, of my home country, and we are having a podcast in our language, and we are approaching all this not through politics but through values. So we are talking about values as a humanity, as a family, as a relationships, as an environment, as a justice, as a accountability, as for example relationships, love. So we are talking about these topics and trying to make people more conscious about themselves and through themselves to the wider topics as politics and society. So I want to continue that for sure, and we'll see what the future will bring. I hope that God has some bigger journey for me. If I can go one day with the medical mission to Gaza, that would be my pleasure, because my dream, and as I always say to the people in Gaza, which I'm talking to, the most of them became my friends in these 2.5 years, friends and family. I'm always telling them that one day we will walk on the beach in Gaza together, and we will pray there together, and we will have some nice dinner together and sitting and watching the sunset in Gaza, in free Gaza, free Palestine together.